Now, let's take a look at the original f of x. That is equal to x cubed plus 3x plus 2. And let's take a look at how this changed to this. And that change is what is going to become the power rule. Well, if you notice right here, this 3 right here becomes a coefficient. But then the value of the exponent is decreased by 1, so we're going to subtract 1 right there. Okay? This is x to the first power, and we take that 1 and multiply it by 3, and then subtract 1. Well, that becomes x to the 1 minus 1 power, which is x to the 0 power. That is gone. And then we just found out with the constant rule that the derivative of a constant, like a number 2, is 0. So that eliminates itself. So when you go through this configuration right here, you get 3x plus 3. Life is really nice. So the generic definition for that is if f of x equals x to the n power, and this thing is differentiable we talked about how it has to be how we define differentiable, and n is a rational number. Then the slope, which they use the term d over dx of x to the nth power, equals n times x to the n minus 1 power. So that's pretty much what we did up here. And here we use the power rule right here. And this right here we used, the last part of this we used the constant rule. So if we take a look at some problems that's related to this. This is on page 115. We take a look at problem number 3, and we're going to differentiate or find the derivative of each of these equations. The first one is y equals 8, and we want to find y prime. Well, this is a constant. It's not going to change, no variable involved with it, so this is going to have a slope of 0. It's just a straight line going across the y-axis at 8. Slope is 0. And that's what derivative means. You're dealing with the slope here. Number 5. Y equals x to the 6th power. So y prime, put the 6 over in front of the x, put the x back down, and the exponent now is 1 less. So 6x to the 5th power. Number 7. If y equals 1 over x to the 7th, we're going to rewrite that so that becomes written in this form right here, so we can see very quickly what can be done. When you have a positive exponent in the denominator and you put it in the numerator, that's going to become a negative exponent. So this is x to the negative 7th power. That means the slope, the derivative, y prime, equals negative 7 here. And then we're going to subtract 1 from negative 8, Be careful on this. That is not -6, that is -8. So it's x to the -8th power. And you can write, if you write it like that, if you want to get rid of the negative exponents, which the book tends for you to like to do. So it's -7 over x to the 8th power. So this is the preferred answer that they're looking for. Number 9, we have f of x is equal to the 5th root of x. And we're going to rewrite this in terms of exponents like we have here. Well, what exponent does 5th root mean? Well, most of you probably know this as being 1/5. So this is x to the 1/5 power. So now we're going to find f prime of x, the derivative of y, basically, by taking 1/5 in front of the x, and then we're going to subtract 1, which is the fraction 5/5. Might be the best way to think of that. And this becomes x to the -4/5. Now, again, we want to get rid of the negative exponent in the answer. So this is going to become 1/5 times x to the 4/5 power. You could write it as the 5th root of x to the 4th if you want. According to the book, that's what they're looking for right there. I'll take either form. I'm not very picky about that. If I was really picky, I'd make you get rid of any radical in the denominator. I'm not going to do that just yet. Okay, number 11, f of x is equal to x plus 1. So f prime of x, well, this is x to the 1st power. So that 1 is going to go in front of the x. The x then, this is going to be 1 minus 1. So that becomes the 0 power. Plus, this is a constant. So that becomes 0. Well, what is x to the 0 power? Anything to the 0 power for that matter. That's 1. So this is 1 times 1 plus 0 is 1. Your answer is 1. Number 13. F of t is equal to -2t squared plus 3t plus 6. So f prime of t is going to equal, and I'll stop doing the manipulations unless you tell me later on that you want it back there, I'll put it in there. But the 2 is going to be multiplying the -2, so that becomes 2 times -2. And t goes from 2 to 1, so it's 1st power, so I'll just leave it like that. Plus the exponent here is 1, 3 times 1, or 1 times 3. And the t becomes 0, so that crosses out. That's no longer a factor. And the derivative of 6 is just plain 0. So this is going to be -4t plus 3. Number 15. We have x, this is g sub x is equal to x squared plus 4x cubed. Well, same thing here. I'm not going to get too carried away with this. So g prime of x, 2 goes in front, x decreases by 1 to 1. 3 times 4 is 12, decrease 3 to 2, x squared, there's your answer. And finally, s of t equals t cubed minus 2t plus 4. So s prime of t is going to equal to 3, and that gets smaller, t squared, minus 2 times 1, which is 2, and that eliminates the t, and this, of course, is a constant, so that crosses out, so there's your answer. Not too tough, makes life a lot simpler than drawing out all those polynomials and canceling out, all kinds of fun stuff like that. So, your assignment is page 115, 4 through 18 even. Good luck.